Thanks for joining me again. This is my video blog, Maxwellvlog. If you hadn't figured out my name, my last name's Maxwell. First name's Ryan. Um, After my first topic dealt with the violence in video games, I decided to have a follow-up for it. And one of the other major topics that we talked about in our class, media and society, it's a lecture class. We discussed, whether or not video games can be utilized in an educational manner, and I think using it, putting it that way is almost a red flag, so to speak. There are ways in which video games can, teach you things. I feel like. And me personally, I like, historically relevant video games. I like, the World War II genre that everybody is so familiar with. In terms of, it deals with realism, and that it deals with the violence in video games, like I'd mentioned before. That does fall under, how real is too real, but these video games have historical relevance. And you can't discount the fact that every World War II game that you've played, even though it may make up characters, a lot of them don't. A lot of them use real people, and they try to show you what happened, how it happened. They try to put you in the shoes of these soldiers that fought and died for our country, or fought and lived. And they're the reason. These soldiers are the reason that we celebrate Veterans Day. We have Memorial Day. These soldiers are heroes, and they make perfect topics for not only movies, not only best-selling books. They make a perfect topic for a video game. When it comes to learning, though. A lot of people, make an argument, oh yeah, video games are great for hand-eye coordination, video games are great for decision-making skills, video games, blah, 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 blah. I don't think you need to turn to video games to learn stuff like that. Typing skills, maybe. I remember in elementary school, when I didn't actually learn typing, but we had programs on our computer that, dealt with, I think it was Reader Rabbit. One of them that was like math games and things like that. We had like a Super Mario typer game where it would pop up letters, and you had to you had to sit at your keyboard and type away, and hopefully get continue your way across the board. And it's basically the platform game that we and I know and everybody loves. But it was put in an educational sense, and I thought that was a unique way to do that. It took characters that we love to associate with, and it put an educational twist on it, which was a lot of fun. I think the video game industry could benefit from selling video games to schools, yes, but I don't think that the learning certain topics should have anything to do with a video game. The fact that I did learn, and anybody can learn history from a video game, if it's based on real events and things like that. If you start in the Pacific campaign of a World War II video game, you're gonna have Pearl Harbor as the beginning. That's usually the jump off. If you start in the European campaign, there's gonna be D-Day when you storm the beach, or if it deals with paratroopers, you're gonna fly in in a glider and support the troops that moved up the beach on D-Day. And it's those, yes, are educational, but those I think you're taking away from what the game actually is. It's supposed to be entertaining. It's supposed to be a video game, and that's what video games are in essence, entertainment. So I don't think video games like in that sense should be used in schools, but I think they could serve a purpose. Like I said, typing. Even in high school, I took a typing class, and though the game was very corny and everyone made fun of it, it worked. It allowed you to get instant feedback on whether or not your typing skills were where they needed to be, whether or not you need to improve. And I am able to type now because of games like that. So I mean, mechanical skills like that are very well expressed in video games, and I think video games can be used to do those. Now, learning basic math, maybe, but you can't get into complex math problems on a computer. You got to be able to sit down with a calculator, with a pen, with a graphing calculator. You got to be able to chart graphs. You got to be able to work it out freehand. Because that's how it's done. You're not going to see a video game. Well, maybe actually, I have seen video games based off spreadsheets. Stock market video games. I mean, they exist, and I think they're pertinent because people trying to get into industries like that, marketing, sales, anything like that, they need to get experience, and you probably don't want to experience firsthand failure with real money. You want to experience it in a video game and know what could happen. So I think video games could be used for learning purposes, but there needs to be a line drawn. I don't think historically relevant video games should be used in things like that. If you have any comments, just leave them on the page. Any ideas on future blogs I could make, or just comments in general, whether I'm doing a good job or not. I'm trying my best here, so let me know.